Welcome back. So the World Economic Forum gave us the Great Reset, and we're not thankful. But now they're giving us another signal, revealing their plans. Cyber COVID. No, it's not literally a virus transformed into a computerized form. Well, actually, maybe it is. The World Economic Forum has put out this bizarre video hypothesizing about a computer virus that works just like COVID-19, spreading around the world, taking devices offline and causing some percentage of them to break permanently. The computer equivalent to dying, we suppose. The World Economic Forum even talks about needing the world's computers to go on a digital lockdown until a digital vaccine can be developed. That is, until some new program can be forcibly installed onto every computer in the world. You can probably guess what sort of spying nonsense they'd include on that program. Still, it all sounds like a wild hypothetical. But is it, though? 3 weeks ago, Canada had a nationwide internet and phone outage for users of Rogers Communications, one of the country's largest internet providers. They say it was an accident, but with Justin Trudeau's dictatorial government working so hard to control everyone, it's not hard to imagine that it was all some kind of a test run. Maria Z is the host of Uncensored on the Stu Peters Network, and she joins us now. Maria, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Stu. I really want people to understand just how serious this cyber COVID actually is in the World Economic Forum's eyes. In fact, I think it could be their final draw card. Cyber Polygon is something that they've been doing for some time now. Each year they practice for cybersecurity attacks, and it all sounds very good on the surface. You've got organizations such as Amazon, BlackRock, and Interpol involved. Interestingly to note, last year on the guests of honor list, Mikhail Mishustin, Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, was listed on the guests of honor. Side note. Now, Bizone is involved each year. This is a Russian cybersecurity organization, an expert, what they say, in digital risks management with the support of the World Economic Forum Center for Cybersecurity and Interpol. They say that their training is conducted on an annual basis and was expected to take place for the fourth year now in 2022. The central theme this year was supposed to be digital resilience in the cloud age. The conclusion that they drew last year, and I want people to really get this, they said that when responding to real incidents, a working strategy will help save time and minimize damage. This is why training is so important. It is not training, it is wargaming. Just like the NTI exercise for monkeypox, this is what they do with this stuff. And I note that we've had multiple countries participating in this since July of 2021, including Israel practicing for a cyber shutdown, and also many countries in Europe also. This is the alarming part, and you touched on it. On their article, on the World Economic Forum's article from 2020, it says what the COVID-19 pandemic teaches us about cybersecurity and how to prepare for the inevitable global cyber attack. Inevitable.
Guaranteed to happen. This is happening. It's inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. And we're going to prepare for it. We're going to prepare you to accept that this is all some sort of an accident.
Yes, absolutely. Just like monkeypox, right? COVID-19 shows that the world is at great risk of disruption by pandemics, cyber attacks, or environmental tipping points. So they're telling you here, we're going to use pandemics, cyber attacks, and climate change to control you. This is what I read. We should prepare for a COVID-like global cyber pandemic that will spread faster and further than a biological virus with an equal or greater economic impact. So they're telling you what you saw over the past 2 years was nothing. This is going to be even greater, perhaps, or at least just as bad as what we saw with COVID. They go on to say that our new normal is not COVID-19 itself, it's COVID-like incidents. COVID-like incidents? You mean where you create a disaster and then implement your systems to control the world through that disaster. That's what you mean.
Then introduce the cure and point everybody towards the cure, which is worse than the disaster that you created in the first place.
Absolutely. They go on to say that, again, it's going to spread further than any biological virus. And then, I don't want to read all of this, but it basically says that, it goes on to talk about how much of the data would be wiped. It would be absolutely devastating. It would render some systems completely inoperable.
Yeah.
And the end result is that millions of devices would be taken offline in a matter of days.
Yeah.
The only way to stop the exponential propagation of cyber COVID would be to fully disconnect all vulnerable devices from one another and the internet. and the whole world would experience a cyber lockdown until a digital vaccine was developed.
Bang.
Could that be a computer program?
There it is. I have said this. I have hypothesized. I have predicted this. I said that this is exactly what was going to happen. And I'm going to get into this a little bit further in detail as we come in the next few weeks when we're still allowed on the internet here, because I said that this was going to happen. And when the internet goes dark and there's no way to communicate, the banking system is wiped. Everybody is reset to zero. Nobody has one paper dollar or any form of currency, which is a fake construct. It's all fake. It left inside of their bank accounts because the digital age of banking will wipe everybody out back to zero. There's no way that we can trace that or where it went. Of course not. The hackers took it all while there was this pandemic. I mean, this is what happens in pandemics. You have collateral damage, right? I mean, people get sick, people die. So do computers. So does everything else. And when the internet goes dark, and when people don't have a way to communicate, you can't watch the television, guess what? Now who controls all of the information? You will only have the emergency system, the vaccine that has been implemented and is already ready to go, where the only source of valuable information that you'll get is just the truth from us, the government, the global roundtable of elites, and these members of the cabal hell-bent on the destruction of civilization. That'll be it.
Yes.
And then these wars will be breaking out, of course, but nobody will be able to understand what the real truth is. The only truth is that elections are a distraction. Okay, the people have become misinformed and uneducated so far to the right that they don't have any way to comprehend what the truth is. And so we're just going to do away with elections altogether, actually. Any government that's representative of the people, as you know, is going to keep the people's best interest in mind. So therefore, we should tell you what to do in every aspect of your life, just exactly how they demonstrated that they're trying to do now. The global pandemic, computers, excellent. Phones, televisions, the internet, shows like this one, all gone, poof, in an instant. That's what's happening. I predicted this and I was called a crazy lunatic. I've got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
When I interviewed Dr. David Martin, he said that the infrastructure already exists to literally, at the press of a button, do this, Stu. And based on the fact that they were supposed to do this on the 8th of July, the next cyber polygon was scheduled. They said they rescheduled it. They didn't. I really think what happened in Canada was the next step. They've never done it at this scale before. This is their final draw card. And I just want to mention that the new prospective PM in the UK, Rishi Sunak, has links to a company launching social credit scores. They are setting up all of the infrastructure so that when cyber COVID hits, you will not be able to access the grid unless you have their digital vaccine, and you won't be part of the system. So please prepare, you and your household.
Unbelievable.